How much did people really get to know about Joe Biden? How is it Joe Biden could possibly reach this powerful plateau? To answer these questions, I assume such things as political corporate media and equally dominant alliances are a reality. My name is Ben Bink Harrison. This is a Bink Report. If Americans knew about Joe Biden's alleged pay-for-play activities of his son that is now shown to reliably link Joe Biden himself, would they have voted for him? Don't misunderstand, there are several reasons not to have voted for Joe Biden, but this one should have stopped everybody's clock. Even rank-and-file Democrats should have seen Biden cross the line. So the big question, why didn't they? How is it most Democrats voted for the most dangerous high-risk candidate, perhaps even more than their previous one? The mail-in ballot, previously used for voters who could not physically vote on-site, allowed Democrats to abuse ballot counts and legal procedures. The Democrats, all hyped up on their own propaganda, gave themselves permission to attack democracy because Trump was a bad guy, and even fair voting, the very essence of American democracy, had to be jettisoned to get rid of him. And where by chance did all these voting anomalies show up? In the most contested states that would have put Trump over the top. This is a door we walk through, and Republicans let it open. It does not matter if our elections are thrown into chaos and distrust from here on out. Honest Democrats should walk away from their party. And of course, what people thought they knew determined how they voted. For the first time, this modern opinion control alliance exposed itself. This highly sophisticated alliance creates a big media, high-tech, and psychologically impenetrable wall. The wall is composed of elite mass media, centering social networks, Hollywood celebrities and their own tribal cant, the huge digital conglomerates with their usual globalist reward, and the Democratic Party itself. The Opinion Control Alliance wants you to believe Trump did not win the election in spite of the most in-your-face and organized fraudulent vote operation ever to infect multiple states. The Trump legal team calls it a fire hose of fraud, massive paper ballots swamping one system even after poll closure. Some machines stopped counting. Election officials blocked poll watchers' view, and even entrance, and much more. The Opinion Control Alliance would have you believe this is all so normal. Move along, no story here. The president should concede. The Opinion Control Alliance rushes to call Biden president-elect, even though mountains of evidence build daily to call for judicial review into what looks to be historic, massive, organized vote theft to benefit Joe Biden. What the mind control media did not want you to believe, even know about, since there was little to no coverage therein, was Biden's serious business ties to the Chinese Communist Party. As revealed by a former business associate, Biden and family members have for years peddled the Biden name for access and influence. A former executive who resigned from the Biden business said his addicted son, Hunter, collected millions, thus, in my opinion, creating a massive national security risk in addition to a possible criminal risk, if at least covered by the normie media. Of course, the normie media knew if they covered that story, even with their usual left political slant, a jailhouse instead of a White House could be in the future of the Democratic presidential contender. So, if enough people got wind of Joe's and family's political liability over the normie TV networks before the election, Biden's gambit for the presidency would be in jeopardy. So, what's the solution? The first one, of course, is to rely on the normie news and censoring social media not to bring the story up at all. But there had to be assurance Biden would win, even if a general outrage erupted, which it did not. That assurance would come in the form of, you guessed it, an insurance policy. Thus, the massive voter fraud. This is sort of like an insurance policy for another insurance policy. If the blacked out information about Biden doesn't work, another insurance policy would be voter fraud. How could the Dems lose? and think information suppression about Biden did not impact the 2020 election? This is when what I've termed the opinion control alliance, that is, legacy or elite media, social media with their censorship and fact-checking schemes, big corporations, big government with its deep state operatives, and the Democratic Party itself all work to keep the voters unaware of legitimate and urgent information about Joe Biden. Referring only to big tech and big media, CNS said 36% of voters were not aware of, quote, evidence linking Joe Biden to corrupt financial dealings with communist China through his son Hunter. Further, 13% of these voters, or 4.6% of Biden's total vote, say they would have not voted for the former vice president, unquote. Hey, thanks for watching. You can contact me at the email coming up.